Welcome to Only the Truth. That's all you're gonna get. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to Only the Truth. I'm glad you tuned in. This video is going to be a little bit different than what I've been doing. Yahweh has gotten hold of me in a special way and given me a message. Like I've said before, whatever I get from Yahweh, I'm going to give to you, and that's what's happening today with this video. He told me that this is what I want you to tell the people. Anyone that's listening, anyone that's interested in me needs to know that these are my things, and I want my people to know that I'm very serious about things. So with no further ado, I'm just going to get straight into it and just give you what he gave me, like I said I would. And I'm gonna nickname this video, Who Are You Following? Who are you following? Is someone leading you and you're following them? Okay, who are you following? This is a question and a message at the same time from Yahweh. So, as we all know, that we're created by the supernatural deity that a lot of people like to call God, but like I've told you before, his name is not God, his name is Yahweh. He calls himself Ehya, Asher, Ehya, and he asks that we call him Yahweh. And go back in the other videos to understand what that means, but straight to it, before Yahweh created us here, the greatest angel in heaven, the chief musician, and the master of influence and persuasion, who would rally all of heaven in accolade and praise and appreciation for Yahweh. That angel's name was Lucifer. He was second only to Yahweh himself. In his heart, he determined that he would outwit and rebel against Yahweh. So, as you've probably heard the stories, Yahweh cast him and all of his followers, which was a third of the angels, out of heaven. He cast them down to what was then a void planet, which we now call Earth. That's where we are, of course. And he called him the Satan. Okay, understanding, which means, accurately translated, that literally means the god of deceptive persuasion, specifically immorality and rebellion. In that place, Yahweh also created what he called Eden. He then created two immortal humans, one male gender and one female gender, Adam and Hepha. Not Adam and Eve, as you've heard, and actually in the ancient Hebrew, Adam means the red man, meaning the blood that flows through him is red, is from Yahweh. The blood has the life from Yahweh is in that red blood, so we called him the red man. Adam means the red man, and Hepha was a byproduct of that red man. So anyway, they were the first of our kind. They were a immortal human in the beginning of the creation. There they had perfect continuity with Yahweh, meaning they were connected with him spiritually in every possible way. So he created two immortal humans, one male gender and one female gender. There they had the perfect continuity with Yahweh. And then, of course, came the Satan to persuade them to follow his agenda, which was to question and rebel against Yahweh. They succumbed to the influence, because it's hard to resist the influence of a god of deception and persuasion. So they succumbed to that influence. And Yahweh, therefore, he cast them out of Eden with the new curse of mortality, which means they're no longer immortal, they're now mortals, which means their lives will end. They won't live forever. Okay, mortal means that you're flesh and blood, and you're not going to live forever. You're going to grow old and die. That's what that means. That came from the Satan. That was his gift. That was his curse. Okay, so when it comes down to it, what all that really means is that Yahweh created two genders for the sole purpose of procreation. He did not create other genders, only the two required for procreation. That's what he did. He said, be fruitful and replenish the earth. That was his instructions to them. That's why he created them. Okay? Now, any gender other than that, other than what Yahweh created, male and female, anything else is the work of Lucifer, the Satan, okay, which he's capable of doing. And the world has been taught not to believe that. They've been taught something else. Anyone who is of such alternate gender belongs to Lucifer, not Yahweh. Okay, that's the key point that everybody needs to get through their mind. Anything that's not of Yahweh is of Lucifer, period. There's only two things. There's Yahweh and Lucifer. Okay, there's only two sides, Yahweh's and Lucifer's. Make no mistake. So here's the deal. This is the message from Yahweh. He has promised an eternity for absolutely every soul. And nobody escapes this. It absolutely applies to everyone from the beginnings of time until the end of time. Everyone who is past, everyone who's going to come after us, and then pass as well, until Yahweh decides it's his time to end it. Everyone is affected by this. It applies to absolutely everyone. Much like the two genders he created, there are two variants of Yahweh's eternal promise as well. Okay? So there's an eternal communion in heaven with Yahweh for all of his followers. Continuity with Yahweh for an eternity. That's his promise for his followers. And alternatively, there is an eternal lake of fire for Lucifer, the Satan, and all of his followers. Everyone who has succumbed to his influence and become his, that's their eternity. Yahweh has only promised two eternities, one with him or one with Lucifer. That's it. So the only question here that requires an answer is, who are you following?